everyone, it's Elisa Chan, partner with G9 Financial, and we're back with another video introducing the rest of our team members. Today, we have our managing partner, Michael Crotty. Not sure what to call him sometimes, Mike, Michael, it goes back and forth, but anyways, Michael, welcome.
Thank you, Elisa. You can call me Mike. I only put Michael in my emails to seem more formal, but Mike is fine.
Sounds good. It's basically an inside joke.
Yeah.
Mike, share with us a little bit about your family, your background, your kids.
Sure. So I'm married to my wife, Julie, now for 15 years. We've been together for 22. I had to think back. We met our freshman year of college, right at the end, probably the last couple of weeks, and got married in 2005 and have 3 kids. Matthew, who is 12, Braden, who will be 10 in a few weeks, so we'll call him 10, and McKenna, who just turned 4, who is a lot of work, crazy and hilarious, and a sassy girl. So that's, yeah, she's a little princess, and she loves to run us around, that's for sure. But she thinks she runs the house, but she really doesn't.
Just let her think that.
Exactly.
Mike, share with us a little bit about how you got started in the business, how you became a financial advisor, and then eventually how you got into the G9 team.
Sure. So financial advisory or financial planning, it started literally in college. I saw the movie Boiler Room and thought like big time stockbroker, mansion, that whole thing, cars, and thought that that's what I wanted to do. But obviously not the case. I started out of college actually working for an accountant doing taxes, which was probably the best non-decision I ever made. I just obviously wanted to get a job and learned how to do taxes. From there, we wanted to do financial planning, which we never really got off the ground. And then I met a few people and literally got married in 2005 and then went on my own and joined a bit of a practice of someone's, but really started my own practice, not really knowing. But I knew once I learned enough about financial planning that I wanted to help people, educate them on the basics of what they should be doing with their money, how to grow it, protect it. And that's how I got started. So I was actually with a Mass Mutual agency for 10 years, Commonwealth Financial Group. And again, one of the best decisions I made because they had a phenomenal training system where I actually learned, the sales part of it, as well as the basics of financial planning, how to run models, how to put together a portfolio. And then I did that for 10 years. Throughout that time is actually where I met you along the way. And Dan was through an organization called NAFA. It's an industry organization that we all were on the board for. At one point, I was the president of Massachusetts and became friends with Dan and sort of admired the way he went about things and got to know him more when we went down to Capitol Hill to lobby for our clients and NAFA's behalf and became friends. And then lo and behold, I never really wanted to have my own practice by myself. I always got into the business to help people, but I also wanted to be able to have a team around me and grow a team and build something that was bigger than myself. And Dan and I kind of had that same vision. And then we sort of, created the partnership and knew we wanted to create a brand. And then along 3 years later, along came you over to the team. So we're starting to grow and really enjoying it. I really enjoy that just as much as I do meeting with my clients.
How long have you been with G9?
So it's January of 2016. So in January will be 5 full years, which is literally you blink and it's, now McKenna's here. McKenna wasn't in the picture when I had joined, which is crazy.
No, time goes by so fast. I actually remember when you and Dan started having this conversation about going into a partnership. I was not even thinking about joining G9 at that point.
Right. It was a stressful decision. It was a hard decision. I had to move my whole practice in and fold it in together. But it's been one of the best decisions I ever made. I practice now way different. As I've said over the past 4 years, I probably on the phone with Dan once a day, just talking about, whatever we're doing, and just bouncing ideas off each other. And it gives me a lot more energy to meet and do the work that we do. So I couldn't be happier.
And that's the benefit of being part of a team. You're not the only person, not only making the decisions, but you have that ability to bounce ideas off other advisors and see what else can we do differently? Is there anything else that we can do better for the client? And I think that's the exciting part about the job as well, or this career.
Yeah. And we think very differently.
Together.
Yeah, we think very differently, as well as you bring a different perspective of how you were trained and how you meet with clients. So it does. It just, you know, makes you get better every day, which is ultimately what you want to do.
Now that we're talking a little bit about career and the business, tell us a little bit about your ideal client and who are the clients that you work most with or well with.
Sure. So my ideal client has evolved. Obviously, I have clients of all ages and different backgrounds. So as you do, we can work with clients of all different types. The typical client for me is probably someone that's anywhere from 35 to 55. They're probably in the middle of kids are anywhere from 5 to 25. And they're either, you know, most of them are typically in that high school range or approaching that high school range that they're trying to think about college education and how to pay for that. So I've started to build a specialty around that. I've got a few college advisors that don't do financial planning, but they do college advising, help those families figure out how to get into school, that process, and ultimately make the right decision for their family. Where we get involved, as you know, is look, they've got all these financial assets and they got to figure out, am I on track for retirement? But I also want to pay for college, and how can I pay for both? How do I do both? What's the most efficient way to do it? And we walk them through that process to make sure that they can do that. But yeah, we deal with, you know, retirement plans for corporations as well. But most of my work is in that sort of 35 to 55-year-old executive couple. Might have stock options, might have some complex issues from that tax background that I bring in, and we work through that from a financial planning process.
Awesome. Mike, when you're not working, what do you guys like to do for fun?
So a lot of things. It's obviously with having young kids, I'm coaching. I coach hockey. Not now, obviously, in this pandemic. We're not playing hockey right now, but I'm typically coaching, which I have a ton of fun with, being on the ice. Or I'm playing in my men's league. I still play and will hopefully play until I physically can't. I golf, which is a lot of fun. And then in the winter, we'll ski a little bit. We're skiing a little bit more now that the kids are getting a little bit older, which is tough with hockey, but we ski. On top of that, we're just probably doing family stuff or in our neighborhood with our friends. The pandemic is obviously very different. We'll be in the driveway shooting basketballs, shooting pucks, playing, you know, the kids hitting out golf balls in the backyard, playing cornhole. We've got every backyard game imaginable, can jam, cornhole. Yeah, so we're typically hanging out or going on some sort of adventures. The other day we went mini golfing, hit some balls. And in normal times, we're typically going out to eat, you know, to a favorite restaurant or just hanging out with our friends, fire pits in the summer, having our friends play their guitars and sing. So kind of just, we're in that time frame of like run with the kids and keeping them involved with what they're doing. A lot of baseball with the two boys now. So running from field to field, dance, whatever it could be, you know, kind of on that hamster wheel of life right now. And it seems tiring, but I'm sure when we look back, we'll be missing it in a few years.
One thing you haven't mentioned is, does McKenna play any sports? It seems like the boys are always playing some form of sports, but I didn't hear McKenna having a specific sport. Have you engaged her in anything yet?
So we've done dance, which was hilarious to see. She's got her little ballet outfit and she loves it. She was supposed to do soccer, start up soccer this past spring, but obviously that didn't happen. And so, but out there, it's just the basketball or the soccer ball or trying to hit a golf ball, shoot a golf ball. She had 2 holes, one oddly enough when we played mini golf, which she couldn't be more excited about. The rest of the time she was literally hockeying the ball in, but she was having a blast doing that.
I met her a couple of times and she seems a very girly girl, but at the same time your household is very sports oriented, so I feel like eventually she will get into some form of sport.
Yeah, it'll be hard not to be. My wife is a huge athlete. She played college soccer. She was also a pretty high-end basketball player and loves sports. Like we love watching football, we love watching hockey. Whatever's on, we're typically watching. So my wife, as much as she is a girly girl, also is very much a driven athlete. So it's kind of it's pretty much in their blood. And with her 2 older brothers always doing something outside, she's typically dragged in and doing that as well.
I would imagine. Yeah. Mike, thank you so much for sharing so much about your personal life and your background. Make sure that if you're following us on all social media platforms, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, and I'll see you next time at the next video. Bye-bye.
Awesome. Thanks, Lisa.